Hello, and welcome back to Triggered Treasures and our special 4th of July episode. And what better to do it on a gun from a country that inspired our independence in the first place? That would be England, and in this case, by proxy, Canada. So, what we're talking about today is a very early World War II weapon that was designed in England and made its way over to the English, that's INGLIS, company in Canada. So what we're talking about today is the Boys anti-tank rifle. That's right, you heard me. This is an anti-tank rifle that was built in early World War II by the British. And it was made for the German early tanks in World War II that had light-skinned armor. And so in Canada, there was probably about 5,000 to 7,000 of these made. And during the Lend-Lease, some of them came to the United States. About 700 and change of those came to the United States. So a little bit more history about these. There was probably around 100,000 or so of these that were made, more so in England, and they were originally designed in 1937, and one of the principals was Captain Boys, and he actually passed away before these went out to the field for use, and that was about 1942. And believe it or not, Disney actually made an animated movie about how this worked and how they thought it should work in the field, and was commissioned by Canada for them to make it. I'll try and get a link to that down below in the description. It's actually kind of humorous. It actually shows Hitler being blown up in a tank and going to hell. So there was about 700 plus some of these that went to the United States, but there's no actually documented combat except for one instance that were given to the Marine Corps raiders in the Battle of Makin Island, that they actually took down a seaplane as it was taking off, and that it ended in the bottom of the lagoon there. So these were originally chambered in 55 Boys with a belted Magnum case. But as you may or may not know, anything over 50 caliber in the United States is a destructive device and has to have a special ATF stamp. So many of them, like this one that I have, was rechambered in 50 BMG. Here we have the original 55 Boys on stripper clips and a 50 BMG for comparison. And you can see the BMG is a little longer. And you can see on here the K39, so that's 1939. And I believe it's also on the stripper clips, as well as marked on the ammo pouch as well. So this also came with some great accessories, as you can see here. It's got the 2 extra different brakes, parts, extra bolt, extra front sight, and a couple of wrenches that are marked Rifle Boys Mark 1. In addition to that, we also have the original magazine box holder, and this one came with 6 magazines. It's a top-fed bolt-action rifle, but just the one that's in the rifle has been modified to handle the 50 BMG round. The rest of these are as original. Okay, so I know you're all thinking, enough, we like the history, but we want to see the rifle. Okay, so here it is. It's got a single bipod, 36-inch barrel with a huge break. It's got an offset front sight. This one had a side mount welded onto it, so you can use a scope instead of that offset front sight. It's got the cheek weld for the right side of your cheek, and then your shoulder goes in the back. It's actually got a buffer there that's filled with oil for when this recoils. Not that it helps much. So, like I said, it's a top-fed magazine bolt-action rifle with a 5-round magazine. And here's a better look at the markings on the receiver. You can see here, it's got the U.S. government property, RB Mark I, English, 1943. And it's got some other various markings on there. These were made in Toronto, and not unlike some of our own defense industries, they subcontracted parts out. Like one of the frame markings was CCM, which was Canada Cycle and Motor Company in Toronto. So a really interesting piece of World War II history. So I know what you're thinking. Is he really going to go out and shoot this? You bet you're right I am. I go out and shoot a couple of rounds through it every year out at the range here. And it's always fun to watch. So let's get to that and wear your double earmuffs for this one. You're going to need it. All right, here we go with the Boys Anti-Tank Rifle for our 4th of July Big Bang episode. And today we're shooting HSM 750 grain hollow points. And I probably should get some hearing protection. I hope you have yours too. That's better. All right, here we go. Whew, that's got quite a bang to it. I hope you all enjoyed this and the history of the Boys Anti-Tank Rifle. Be sure to like and subscribe and have a happy 4th of July. Be safe out there. Thank you.